Good afternoon, church. And today I'm going to talk about church unity. And our text is for Ephesians 4, verse 1 to 6. But before that, let's see if I have something to show you. Anyway. There it is. So, they want to have a unity workshop until they agree what color and badge of the participants' name tags are done. Anyway, let's go to Ephesians 4, 1 to 6. It says here, Apostle Paul is talking to the Ephesians, and it said, "As a prisoner for the Lord, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body, one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all in all." One. United. Okay? But how do we do it? If going to Ephesians 4 verse 1, I believe Apostle Paul gave the secret. Chapter verse 1, as a prisoner for the Lord. As a prisoner for the Lord. He was a prisoner of the Roman government. He was a prisoner of their culture. Their culture was pagan. They had lots of immorals. He was a prisoner of his body. He had a thorn in his flesh. But he considered himself first a prisoner of the Lord. I think that is the key. We are first God's prisoners. In fact, it is there where we can see grace. Today, we can see Christians are even divided because we are prisoners of politics. You know, the Kavanaugh issue and everything else. We are prisoners of our own finances. We are prisoners of our culture. Of, you know, the way the culture today is always against Christ, against what is held to be true. They say there is no absolute value, but always relative value. It's not absolute. Prisoner of the Lord, a follower, a devotee, absolute trust and love and faith in God. If you are a prisoner, you spend all your time in prison in doing what the warden says or the program says. But in our case, it's about God. You see, the only way that we can be, in verse 2, humble and gentle and patient is if we think about God first. It means probably praying first before checking Facebook and text messages. It means meditating first before answering probably emails and talking to people. You see, sometimes, even I am guilty of this, I don't want to pray first in the morning or talk to God first. I'd rather get my coffee first, and I say, you know, I want to be awake. But guess what? After I get my coffee, distractions come, text messages, you know, ring over the phone. I have an Arcadia High School and Arcadia First School app, and all my kids' grades every day and their absences and everything are in the phone, you know, and I can track them. So I see, okay, they're doing good. Okay, you got a B here, you got a C. Oh, why did you get your, you miss your project? And they are all outlined there. And so sometimes those things, and then the rest of the day is gone. And then the way I talk, the way I move, the way I act is not, verse 2, called humble and gentle and patient, bearing with one another in love. And that is the key, I think. There is one body, one Spirit, just as you were called. Next slide, please. This is summarized as Miss Ada said. Ta-da! There you have it. Believers are never told to become one. We are already expected, we are already one, and are expected to act like it. We are already one. We just have to act like it. Imagine who the church is, the bride of Christ. The bride of Christ, if you see throughout history, is neglected, is persecuted, is harassed. Imagine, for those of you who are married, your bride is neglected, persecuted, harassed, forgotten, abandoned. What would you feel? What do you think Christ would feel? The only way that we love the church of unity is that if we love God first. We love God first, we really love Him, we will love whom He loves. Whom does God love? Everyone. The church. Whom does God love? If we really love God, first commandment, we can do the second commandment after the first commandment. Love God first, and then we can love fellow men. If we love God, then we can love whom God loves. Church unity, let us pray. Father God, we come before you in your presence, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You have the perfect example. You are three, you are distinct, but yet you are one, united, serving one another, loving one another. It is said in the scriptures that one body, one spirit, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Help us, Lord, to really remember this and apply this, Father. Being a prisoner of you. If we are a prisoner of you, we are set free by grace. If we are a prisoner of this system, the government, the culture, we are bound, Father. But help us to put you first, to pray first, to meditate first, to do Bible study first, before Facebook, text messages, emails, work, and all the other conversations, to make us humble and gentle, bearing with one another in love, Father. As Apostle Paul said, one body, one spirit. Let us really love you, because if we really love you, we will love the one whom you love. We will love the people around us, the church around us, Father. Everyone. We are called to one hope, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Father God, help us to be reminded and deepen our love to you. Because you have loved us, help us respond, Father, and remember that you are the one who is united, who will keep us unified. We cannot do it on our own. We are humans. Only through you can we do it. We know, Father, your church is the one you love. It's the bride of Christ. And all those who will be believers, the believers in the future, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, Father, in the judgment, everyone, Father. We do not want a bride who is neglected, who is abandoned, who is harassed, who is persecuted, Father. But help us remember that this church is yours. Help us to be united, Father, in prayer, in meditation, in our talk, in our walk. Help us, Father, to be really thinking of you as you love the church, your bride. Let us put it in our minds, Father. Even amidst all these storms, all these politics going around, all these problems, help us to remind that your bride, the church, is here to last forever. Because you are forever. The gates of hell can never prevail against it, Father. It is strong, and it is pure, and will prevail. Help us to understand this, and help us to be united in this. But first and foremost, help us to really love you, so that we will love the one you love.